tell me this has dried out. Absolutely glowing, like the Eiffel Tower. I just had to go and answer the door with half my concealer done. There is no crease resistant concealer. We are rapidly losing the light here. I've messed it up. It smells amazing. I forget every freaking time. Get off. I've completely forgotten to put the SPF on. It's... Hey guys, this is actually my first time leaving the house in about 5 or 6 days because my energy levels have been quite shocking. For those of you who don't know, I have a chronic illness which impacts my energy levels, so I have to spend a lot of time at home resting. But today I'm hoping to get out of the house. I need to run a few errands. I'm just gonna do my everyday kind of makeup and try and do something with this crazy hair. I don't know what's going on with it right now. For some reason, I didn't actually talk through this next part of the video. Maybe I went into daydream mode or something, I'm not sure. But basically, I just used some of the Colour Wow styling cream to defrizz my hair. I think that'll do. I didn't want to do anything too crazy. I just wanted to try and control the frizz. It's getting a bit out of hand. Sorry if the angle changed there a bit, guys. I just kicked the camera. I wanted to use some SPF today and also the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Face Base, but I'm not sure which order to put them in because the Bobbi Brown Face Base is kind of like skincare, but it's also like a primer. So I'm not quite sure. I'm just going to check online to see maybe someone else has searched this before. Vitamin base before or after SPF. Oh yeah, people have searched it. Should always be applied before sunscreen. It's a bit conflicting here. Bobbi Brown's website. Massage vitamin enriched face base onto skin. Step 2, SPF. I also actually have the eye cream, which I haven't used for a while, so I think I'll put some of that on first. Don't want it to be too slippery under the eye, so I'm just putting a small amount on that will hopefully soak in well, but still allow my makeup to sit nicely. I guess because this is supposed to be, well, it can also be used as a moisturiser. That's why you can put it on before SPF. Apologies, this is my piercing. It always decides to change position and stick out when I'm trying to film, making it look like I've got stuff inside my nose. For my base today, I'm actually going to try this Soft Glam satin foundation from ELF. I've had it a while. I've like done a couple of swatches, but I haven't actually used it on my face. But it's supposed to be quite light, kind of glowy looking, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm using the shade 13 Fair Neutral. And for those of you who may have a similar skin tone to me, I've got a like very pale olive tone that I think leans slightly warm. I've never had colour analysis or anything like that done, but neutral foundations or any olive leaning ones suit me better. I kind of have like a greeny, you can probably see from neck, like a greeny yellow thing going on. My face always looks a lot redder because there's always inflammation and stuff, so I try to match it to my neck. Just put it on the back of my hand just so I can control the amount I put on my face because I haven't used it before. And I'm using the NYX, I don't know what number brush this is, but it's basically their foundation brush. And it will look very light, but you can see it matches my neck. It's just because I always have so much going on my face with eczema, rosacea, different flare-ups and things. I do have quite a bit of dry, flaky skin on my face at the moment as well, so we'll see how this looks on top of that. It's grabbing on a little bit around here, but I expect that from any foundation, to be honest, because It's so dry there at the moment. I always start with my cream products before my concealer, and then once I've done my concealer I can set it with powder straight away. I'm only using a cream blush today, not a cream bronzer, so I'm going to take the Revolution Pro Hydra Cream Blush. I believe this is supposed to be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury, what is it, Blushgasm or something. Don't tell me this has dried out. This is the only problem with this packaging. Basically it's now coming out of the side and not on top, so it's an absolute mess. I think people have been having this issue with the Charlotte Tilbury one as well. It's not ideal. I think I'm going to go in with my foundation brush because I don't need that for anything else. So I just work it into my, and then we'll do a little bit on the nose. For concealer, I'm going to use the Vieve Modern Radiance Concealer. I'm going to mix light 1 and light 3 because I'm kind of somewhere in between both of those shades at the moment. This is what they look like. For this, I'm going to use the Rare Beauty concealer brush. Sorry guys, the angle might have changed again. I just had to go and answer the door with half my concealer done for a parcel. Where I've put that concealer on, I'm just going to go over again here with the foundation brush that I use for my blush, just to blend everything a bit more seamlessly so it's not just like very obvious lines where everything ends and begins and ends, whatever way around you want to say it. What was that? Okay, I'm now going to set my under eye and the rest of my face actually with the Vieve Modern Powder Perfector in light. Just that brush is a bit big for that area really. I should use a puff, but I'm too lazy. I haven't got time to go and find a puff. I don't want to get too shiny, although I've got dry skin. I do still get oils coming through later in the day like everybody else. So apart from right up here, I try to like powder the middle of my face just to make sure that I'm not absolutely glowing like the Eiffel Tower. Maybe that's not the right metaphor, actually, the right example for that. Glowing, what glows? My concealer's creased already. There is no crease resistant concealer unless you have no lines. Like, I think they're lying about that. Unless you have absolutely 0 lines, it doesn't exist. Okay, I'm now going in with the 17 Glow and Define bronzer. This one's quite cheap. I believe it's like, when I purchased it, it was like £3, £3.50 or something. But it's got a really nice like neutral undertone. I find because I'm so pale, a lot of bronzers, they come up like orange or like quite red in colour. So I try to look for the ones that are more sort of, not cool, because obviously that would be a bit more of a contour, but like quite neutral. I'm just going to go in with this Morphe E4 brush. It's quite packed in, like quite dense, but it's still got, they're quite like flexible bristles. So you don't get too much, like it's still easy to blend things out. I'm just going to go towards the back of where I had the blush. Don't want too much. This is only supposed to be an everyday makeup-ish. I do have a bit of a line there, so what I'm going to do with my powder is just try and diffuse that out a little bit at the bottom and on the other side as well. Next I'm using the Vieve Eye Wands in Sand and Camel. So Sand is kind of like the lightest brown that I like to use across my whole lid. So I literally put it all over. I do one side at a time because it can dry quite quickly. It's not too much darker than my natural skin colour, so it's just like a good base. And then on the outer corner, I'm going in with Camel, which is just a slightly darker shade. Kind of like in the crease and on the corner there. No, I have to remind myself. not to go in with both eyes at once because otherwise it dries and then it's not so blendable. Just create a little bit of like shadow on the outer eye. We are rapidly losing the light here, which is a bit of a problem. I know what's been going on. The weather in the UK has been so dreary, even when we're supposed to be, you know, like in the middle of the day. The cloud cover has just meant that the lighting is so low and it's difficult to film without a bunch of lights. Then I'm just going to pop a bit of this Charlotte Tilbury Champagne Diamonds. It says it's for blue eyes, but it's kind of like a champagne gold. I quite like it with my green eyes. I just put that in the inner corner. I don't know if you can see it there. Just gives a little bit of a pop. I'm just going to put a tiny flick of brown eyeliner here. Like almost nothing. I don't think you'll even be able to see it there, to be honest. I just need to clean up. I'm so useless with eyeliner, even doing that small wing there. I've messed it up. I've also just going to touch a small amount of the Vieve powder over my eyelids to kind of set the eye ones underneath. It might be better off with a small fluffy brush, just to avoid, obviously eventually it will crease, but this just stops your eyelid oils coming through and moving the product too early. Just gonna pop this e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade, can't even read that, Brunette. Not fully setting my brows today. I'm just creating kind of fluffiness, adding a bit of colour. Oh no, I'm just going to wait for that to dry. Similar with mascara, I'm going to wait for it to dry and then use one of those spoolie things, brushes, to take it off. Before I go in with mascara, I'm just going to put this Vieve Invisiveil setting spray on. It smells amazing. Ugh, my hair's wet now. We'll just wait for that to dry a minute. We're losing the light. Hopefully I can get this done before the sun fully sets. Okay, we're going in with a brown mascara today. I really like this one. This is the Sweed Pro Lash Lift Mascara in brown. I think it just says, oh, dark brown, in dark brown. It's got an unusual brush. I don't know if you can see that. It's like one of the one-sided ones with some short, stiff bristles. I've got to stop doing that with my mouth wide open like this. It's unnecessary. But why does it help me concentrate? I wonder if this has dried out a little bit because it's gone quite clumpy. And separate them a little bit. It's a little bit better. Although I've transferred quite a bit of mascara there. Not helpful. Again, I'll wait for it to dry and then scrape it off. I meant to use my eyelash curler. I forget every freaking time. I've got every other step pretty much down except bloody eyelash curler. The eyes turned out better. I'm not quite sure what happened there. This one, I bent it. I bent it on purpose to help me get into tight spaces when I need to clean. I just worked a tiny amount of concealer into the concealer brush just to try and cover this over a bit better. Hair in my face. Get off. And then we'll just dab a little bit of powder over that area. For lips, I'm using the Maybelline Lifter Liner in Player. These are so creamy and long lasting. I don't know, I had a short that I posted a couple of weeks ago where I'd done swatches of all of my lip liners, and then the last photo of it, actually maybe it was on the other app, can't remember, but basically I showed what happened when I tried to use micellar water to remove them, and the Fenty lip liners and the Maybelline lifter liners were the most long lasting. Like, I couldn't remove them fully with micellar water. You have to go in with an oil cleanser, which obviously is a good indication of how well they'll last during the day when you eat and drink and things. You have to excuse the state of my lips at the moment. They've been really dry and cracking, and I have a really bad habit of picking them. Like, when it's dry and flaky, I can't help myself. I think it's something to do with like anxiety or something. And yeah, I pick it. Sometimes I do it in my sleep as well. Like, I don't even know, and I'll wake up and they're all like completely split open and everything. So I need to do something about that. Feathered it in there a little bit. Just want to overline slightly my Cupid's bow. The lipstick is not matte. It's one of the Fenty, what do they call it? Fenty, oh, it has no name on there. Oh, Gloss Bomb Stick. So it's quite like juicy, and it might move the lip liner around. So I'm just gonna wait a second before I put that on. You won't believe what I've forgotten. After all that at the beginning where I was like, oh, should I put the face base on first or the SPF? I've completely forgotten to put the SPF on. Luckily, the sun's about to go down in about 20 minutes. Oh, that's so annoying. Can you believe that? So I spent all that time searching online to see which order I should put them in, and I didn't even put my SPF on anyway. Okay, guys, I'm losing the plot. Okay, this is Gloss Bomb Stick's Tulip Kiss, which is like the palest shade, I believe, but more of like an orangey peachy tone. I think it's nice. This one and no, this is Tulip Kiss. What am I talking about? The Blaze Donut one, which is like the lightest but pink version of it, cool tone pink. They're like perfect to put over like any lip liner to create some like depth and definition. So if you just go in with a darker lip, well, even with a lighter lip liner, I've used peanut butter in this one before, and that gives more of like, they're not too dissimilar, but it looks really nice when you go in with a dark lip liner. You can also leave the centre of your lips completely like free and then go in with this, and the contrast, it's... I'm just going to check. I might need a little bit more powder there. We don't like a shiny forehead. I have to be careful of my nose. It's extremely dry here. Why does it look shiny? But it gets so oily just right here. Okay, so we'll unclip the hair. And also wanted to put some other jewellery in today. So I'll take my smallest hoops out. It's quite a casual day, so I don't want anything too crazy. Let's try a small hoop or a larger hoop. Although I do have my earmuffs today because it's quite cold, so am I going to be able to wear them with the large hoop in? I think we'll go with a smaller one today. There we go. So I have a thumb ring. I think that one's from Pandora. Then I have a ring that I wear on my, third finger. That's one I've had for a very long time. And I've got this one on my other thumb, which is my mum's engagement ring. And then I have this one, which my best friend bought me a few years ago, which I love. I'm obsessed with anything that's green, teal, blue, turquoise. I actually need to buy more, really, but I want to invest in, like, I'm trying to move away from buying too much like really cheap jewellery, and I just want to buy actual silver or gold plated or actual gold, and like one every so often, so that I can actually have a full selection of rings. But yeah, you guys hasn't got money for that right now, so we just stick with the ones we have. Now there'll be like 10 minutes after this of me trying to get a good thumbnail. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.